Hello, my insane. This is Sickly Vindictum, and welcome to, well, Halo 5, obviously. But today we're not going to talk about Halo 5 or Halo at all. We're going to talk about a subject that's kind of old. Took me a kind of a while to get around to it, even though I really wanted to talk about it. As soon as I heard the news, I was like, I need to talk about that. That needs to be addressed. The recent comments from EA concerning their reason why Battlefield 5 did not do really well. Now, I found a lot of articles on this. I found it kind of difficult to read which article because just of the matter of people viewing certain sites as, oh, that's just, fake news, or that's a terrible article, it's biased. But I'm going to read the article. If it's biased, whatever, I'm not going to give a biased opinion based on a biased article. I already know the details. I just like to read articles along with it to kind of like an intro, build up to it. So I'm going to read this article by Tom's Hardware. Battlefield 5's lack of Battle Royale blamed for poor EA financial results. EA executives admitted in the latest quarterly fiscal report for quarter 3 FY19, announced late yesterday that it didn't do as well as it expected. The company was most disappointed in the low Battlefield 5 sales, as well as its mobile gaming revenue. Battlefield 5 sales disappoint. EA's executives noted that it sold 7.3 million copies of Battlefield 5 in the latest quarter, which was 1 million less than its guidance for this quarter. The executives attributed this to the game's lack of a Battle Royale mode at launch, and blamed developers for focusing on the single-player mode too much. EA CEO Andrew Wilson said the game's Battle Royale mode, called Firestorm, will launch next month. It's not clear yet whether or not EA will add microtransactions to this mode, as Activision has done for the Battle Royale mode in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Based on information currently available, using the mode will only requires owning the game. Let's pause for a second. It's EA. Alright? Let's not... Alright, this article kind of sounds kind of... Well, I guess it is biased. Unbiased, sorry. It's unbiased, but it seems to be unbiased to the point of feigning ignorance, which is okay. If you don't want to pick sides, it's perfectly okay. But let's be honest. It's EA. There are going to be microtransactions. Okay, that's just comes to the deal. There are gonna be microtransactions. It's EA. It's an EA game. They're gonna microtransaction it. All right. Let's continue. Intense competition. Wilson noted. And by the way, Andrew Wilson's a fucking moron. Okay, I had to come out and just say it. Andrew Wilson is an idiot. Okay, let's just put that out there. Wilson noted that the company's poor performance was also due to intense competition in the video gaming industry in fiscal quarter 3, 2019. However, he admitted that who wrote this? Someone needs to proofread this article. It's not written well. It says, however, he admitted that the competition they had doesn't sound right. They had, maybe I mess it up, but this doesn't sound right to me. The face was partially EA's own fault. Excuse me. Knowing that with the delayed release of Battlefield 5 from October to November, the competition of a poor start in our marketing campaign was a longer development cycle that put us in a more competitive window, as quoted by Ars Technica. Mobile gaming. EA said that the launch of its new mobile game Command & Conquer Rivals wasn't as strong as expected. Additionally, the changes it made to Madden Mobile failed to increase monetization. Its mobile games made 23% less revenue in the last... This article says, in the latest quarter. The company reassured investors that its sports games and its microtransaction systems within some of its games are still performing well. EA also said that its new Apex Legends game had a solid launch. Very true. It's very true. Alright, that's the end of the article. this poorly written article. No hatred toward the guy who wrote it, but I really should have proofread stuff. Okay, so EA has officially blamed the lack of Battle Royale, Battlefield 5's poor performance, and also blamed the focus on single-player games, which doesn't really surprise me. EA has been waging a war against single-player games for a very while now. They like to pretend that it's not in demand, that single-player games, don't matter. To kind of push their own multiplayer scummy, vision for their games. Of course, it's not true. Single-player games have always been in demand. They are still popular, despite what EA wants people to believe. Why did Battlefield 5 fail? I mean, Battlefield 3 was great. Battlefield 4 is fantastic. Battlefield 1, even though I didn't really love it as much as the others, it was successful. I wouldn't say it was my favorite. I didn't play it that much. I played it every now and then. It was fun. But despite my personal feelings on it, I would say it was definitely successful. Resonated really well with the fans and the critics alike. So why did Battlefield 5 fail? Well, one of the problems, obviously, is identity politics. Pushing that diversity. The problem with that is you can have women as your focus. In fact, it's awesome. They can do it right. If it doesn't feel like it's just being forced, women. But the problem with that is you can't push something that's not accurate. Were there women in wars in World War I? Yeah, there were. Not to the degree that EA wants you to believe. Not to the degree of that. As I recall, I did a little research on this. I might be wrong. I might have my figures wrong, but I believe the only country that actually had women on the front lines that predominantly was actually Russia. Is that right? Let me know if that's right. I think I heard something like that. I was reading up on it recently. Just wanted to get a little brief freshen up on it since I failed history class. But yeah, let me know if that's right in the comments. I could be wrong. But the problem with that is you can make a game that has historical influences but is clearly based in fiction. The issue is that they've made a game that is a kind of a hybrid of fiction and reality. But they are getting upset that you're not accepting the fiction part of it, and they want it to be seen as reality. Why did I not get Battlefield 5? I could care less about the identity politics. I could care less about historical inaccuracies of it. I really could care less, honestly. That doesn't influence me getting a game. I played the beta when it came out. I found it to be uninspired. The gameplay wasn't really that great. It was graphically weak, despite being I got a lot of flack for that. Like, hey, it's a beta, but I get that. But even for a beta, it felt just wrong. And then I checked out the final version, and it was still the same way. It was still very graphically weak. The graphics of that game are not really good. It doesn't really perform too well. It just seemed like bad Battlefield 1 DLC. Honestly, that's what it felt like to me. It did not feel like a good game. And I love Battlefield, I really do. But I just stared at it, thinking to myself, you know what? I can't get this game. I just can't get it. It just wasn't. Okay, plus the mechanic, the revive mechanic. Oh my god. Why did they add the revive mechanic? Absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. Just let me die and respawn. The revive mechanic is the most tedious, pointless, irritating mechanic that I've seen in late games. I don't always hate the revive mechanic. Sometimes it's done really well. Sometimes it's done extremely well. However, in Battlefield 5, it was not implemented well. Now, what else? It also helps when you don't insult your fan base. Let's be honest. EA was very insulting toward the fan base, called them uneducated, and flat out told them, if you don't like the game, don't buy it. Well, the fans listened, and they didn't buy it. And now they're surprised. Anyway, the reason why Battlefield 5 failed is not because of Battle Royale. As usual, EA is trying to blame everything but their own actions for the cause of their poor performance. Battle Royale has absolutely no play in that. And the fact that Apex Legends is now a big hit kind of upsets me a little bit, even though I love Apex Legends. Why it upsets me is that EA can probably look at that and be like, hey, see, that was Battle Royale, very successful. The reason why we don't, the Battlefield 5 wasn't successful is because of the lack of Battle Royale. It's still wrong. It's not why. There are plenty of games out there who don't have Battle Royale that are extremely successful, even right now. I don't like the Battle Royale trend. I find the whole concept of Battle Royale to be lazy and just, in most forms, just not a lot of fun. Just nothing. When I started playing Apex Legends, I decided to give it a shot because it was the developers behind Titanfall, Respawn. And so I played it. And I instantly fell in love with Apex Legends. I will admit that. As a Battle Royale, not really hater, but as a fan who doesn't really like Battle Royale, I absolutely love Apex Legends. It doesn't actually feel like Battle Royale to me. It feels more like an elimination type game, just not necessarily Battle Royale. But still, I love Apex Legends. The fact that EA is trying to blame the lack of Battle Royale for Battlefield 5's poor sales is rather funny and also pathetic, honestly. But I guess that is what it is. EA are going to continue to hash out any bullshit excuse they want to and continue to be disrespectful and just EA, I suppose. But yeah, I wanted to take a little time to talk about this. I know I'm late. I know I'm terribly late. This happened, I think, 2 weeks ago, actually. But thank you for watching it if you did, and leave a comment if you want to. Let me know if my Russia thing was incorrect, because when it comes to me, if I say something wrong, I want to know about it. I don't like staying ignorant. There's nothing more embarrassing and something that pisses me off that when I do get something wrong, I like to fix it immediately. So if I got it wrong, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Keep the coffee hot. As always, finish the fight. Make sure you give them hell, Joe. I'll see you guys in the next one.